Hello and welcome to another guide on Black Desert's Alchemy. So in this one I'm going to be showing the more difficult recipes. If you want to see the basics of it and how to get started, I recommend you check out my previous video. So in my inventory are some of the things that I would say you need to make some of the better potions. This is mostly a guide for using alchemy to make some money, but there are obviously other potions you can make. So first off, hardest materials to get are your traces, which I'll show you some places for, as well as these different powders. They're not as hard, and these are sort of the more difficult ones. So if I go on the map, I'll go through a few nodes that you'll probably need. Now for an excavation node you need to go to the place first, then you need to talk to the person, spend 30 energy, and then it'll unlock it. So Ancient Stone Chamber, this one will give you Trace of Ascension. That's a good one. Lynch Farm, Trace of Hunting, Trace of Savagery, I think. Let me just double check. Yep, Trace of Savagery. Over here, Ancient Ruins Excavation Site. That's Trace of Earth. That's a really good one. And you also get Trace of Chaos, which I don't actually know the proper use of. I haven't seen a potion yet that I've needed it for. Trace of Origin, Glish Ruins. Over here, where is it? Fountain of Origin, as you'd guess, I suppose. Trace of Memory, over here. There's a few others, like Mancha Forest gives you Trace of Violence, but I haven't unlocked that one, and I haven't really had much need of it. Benianto Farm, over here. Trace of Forest, and what else was it? Trace of Battle. So there are some of the nodes that I have connected. As for your various powders, Powder of Flame you get from copper nodes, so this is a copper one. That'll give you Powder of Flame as a byproduct. Iron will give you Powder of Darkness. Powder of Crevice I don't actually have any nodes for. You can buy some of these things because they're quite cheap, but coal nodes around Kaplan area will give you that. Powder of Time is from lead. Now, as well as this, get any nodes that give you mushrooms of any kind. So cloud mushrooms are around here, tiger mushrooms here. This is a good node. I'm not sure if I've got any others for that, but that's good for those. Yeah, so there are a bunch of nodes all around. Just connect as many nodes as possible. Same with wood. Any ones that give you lumber will also give you sap, so get as many of those as possible. And then obviously some of the nodes I showed in my last video you'll want as like a basic starting point. So once you've got these bits, there are 4 potions I'm going to show that are the best for making money. Worth noting, you can melt down different weapons to get some different traces. Yuri will give you Trace of Ascension, so that's another way of getting that. Berries will give you Trace of Battle. Callus will give you Trace of Violence. Iron will give you Trace of Savagery. Seleth will give you Trace of Death. Kreia will give you Trace of Despair. So there's some other ones, but these are your 4 most important. Trace of Origin, Glish Ruins area, Fountain of Origin. Trace of Savagery will be Lynch Farm. Trace of Ascension will be the Ancient Stone place, the place you start. Trace of the Earth will be the Ancient Stone, Ancient Ruins place. So these are your basics. And then also you've got these things that you'll hopefully have got from gathering. There is a node for tree knots, which is a good node I recommend you get, because it gives you other valuable materials too, and that's Stonetail Wasteland. There are O's Pass, I think it's around here, will give you Monk's Branches. Yep, but I don't need that connected either. Spirit's Leaves again you can get from certain nodes. You get them from, for example, Bartelli Forest. It's like a byproduct. So yeah, you can get some of those extra bits, but a lot of these things you'll hopefully have got from gathering. So the blood types I recommend you make are Wise Man's Blood, Sinner's Blood, Clown's Blood, and Legendary Beast's Blood. Don't bother with Tyrant's Blood, it doesn't really make very much of use. So probably the easiest starting point is Clown's Blood, so you can make that with 2 Clear Liquid Reagents, 2 Wolf Blood, 1 Clear Liquid Reagent, 2 Wolf Blood, 1 Powder of Darkness, 1 Spirit's Leaf. So you want to make a big batch of those, so you probably want to get enough to make 100 crafts. That'll give you about 200 or so Clown's Blood, which you can then make into Potion of Shock. So, to make a Potion of Shock, well, Elixir of Shock, you need 1 Clown's Blood. Shall I show you? 5 Tiger Mushrooms, which you can get from Camasylvia Temple automatically. 7 Cedar Sap. These you get from south of Glish, near Serendia Shrine, etc. There's quite a lot of cedar trees around there. I just spent an hour getting 700 plus, so it takes some time, but it's worthwhile. Powder of Time again, 3 of those. That'll make you a full batch, and a full batch will be about 250. An Elixir of Shock. These are worth quite a bit, so you're going to get both these types. And I'm going to go for a low price because you probably don't want to put it super high if there are other people selling it. But say you sold 250, that's 10 million. And then obviously there's the other version that you're probably going to get about 20 or 30 and people are buying them. So let's say 25, yeah, that would be 4 million. If you had 20, 3 million, yeah, you get the point. So that's one first potion that I recommend that you make. Next potion, Elixir of Training, so that requires Legendary Beast's Blood, which is what you need the Trace of Earth for. You can swap Lizard's Blood for Kuku Blood. That's something I didn't mention. Certain blood types you can swap around. If you use the companion app, BDO Companion, it'll show you the blood groups so you don't have to figure it out yourself. But Pure Powder Reagent, 2 Kuku Bird Blood, which you can get north of Hydel, Trace of Earth, which you should be getting automatically, and Spirit's Leaf that you'll get from getting your saps and things. That'll make you Legendary Beast's Blood, so it's not too hard. Then with that, you put 1 of those Legendary Beast's Blood, 7 Silver Azaleas, which again you'll be getting automatically. It's a pretty common resource. Pine Sap, 4 of those. You can get that from nodes, or you can go to find some pine trees. And Powder of Crevice, 2 of those. That'll make you again a full batch. All these potions I'm showing here are worth quite a bit, but I'll show you the general. So that's at least 45 million each per potion. No one's selling them right now, so you get an idea. So 250, which is about your average, yeah, so you're over 10 million. I'd say each one of these potions, if you've got some materials in storage, and you're probably going to need to get something, you sort of, the saps and the bloods are the things that will take you some time. The other things you'll get automatically, so each potion would probably take you about an hour getting the sap or the blood required, but you're getting about 10-15 million each. So next one, Wise Man's Blood. This one is made from 1 Clear Liquid Reagent, 2 Fox Blood, which you can get from the forest near Hydel, Trace of Ascension, you'll get that automatically, or you can melt down some Uriah weapons, which aren't too rare. If you're grinding, definitely melt down weapons, see what you get, keep the bits. It's more valuable than just the weapons itself. And a Monk's Branch you'll get from gathering as well, so that's how you get that. Once you've got that, you put 1 of those 5 Maple Sap, which again you get from the forest near Hydel. I am using ingredients that are all nearby, easy enough to get, and these are potions that are relatively easy to make from, yeah, they're advanced, easy enough to make, so they're worthwhile for time. 5 Maple Sap, 6 Flake flowers. There's no node for these, you have to gather them. You can grow these things, it's worth noting. 2 Powder of Time from your lead, and that'll make you a batch. Again, Elixir of Time, you get the idea, you're going to make about 10-15 million. Finally, Sinner's Blood. Sinner's Blood's different. I don't recommend making potions out of it, and also you can swap out Pig Blood for Ox Blood, which you can get from the trolls at the same time as getting Troll's Blood. So while you're getting the ingredients for your basic potions, you can make advanced ones. So this is the recipe for that. Bloody Tree Knots you can get automatically or from your saps, that from your copper nodes, etc. Once you've got those, you'll notice while crafting you'll get Shining Powder as a byproduct. Now what you can do, I don't have the ingredients on me right now, but 10 of those, pretend that's 10, 3 Sinner's Blood, 5 Powder of Time, 10 pure powder Reagent, and 10 clear liquid Reagent. Now, this makes an alchemy stone. There's a 1 in 4 chance that it'll break. I'm not sure if that's exact. Your odds are you either get an alchemy stone or it breaks. I think actually it's more likely than that it'll break. But what you'll get when you do that and you succeed is, if I look up, well actually there's a whole tab for it, alchemy stone. So for example, you get the imperfect alchemy stone like this. Immediately it's worth 1 million, but if you upgrade it, which for example this one you'd upgrade with metal ingots, you can make it worth a lot more. But I would say that it uses a lot of resources to upgrade, so consider a good time to stop. But yeah, you could get one that's worth between 1 to 10 million depending, or if you got really lucky or put a lot of time into it you could get a really good one, but you know, you have to consider the time. So that's one of the most valuable things. It's worth noting Sinner's Blood, also good for crafting with workshops to make a lot of good things. The other things I recommend you craft that are more basic are things like metal solvents, plywood hardeners, leather glaze and gem polishers. So, metal solvent is 4 rough stones, 2 trace of savagery, 1 clear liquid Reagent, and 3 melted iron. Yeah, here it is. So don't sell these things on the market, but use them, and I'll show that in a bit. Plywood hardener is trace of earth. This is something you might want to consider, whether it's worth making the blood or the trace of earth, or the plywood hardener, sorry. Bloody tree knot, 3 of those. 1 pure powder Reagent, 4 fur sap, if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, there's that. Leather glaze uses trace of Ascension. Again, you want to consider whether it's worth making this or the other substance. Maple sap, 3 of those. A clear liquid Reagent, 1 of those. A powder of darkness, 2 of those. So where is it? Yeah, that's another one. That's your leather glaze. It's worth noting, to actually make use of these you need a character that's good at processing and has done some quests that provide them with basic knowledge, etc., and advanced knowledge actually to use these. So to actually use these properly you need someone who's good at processing, but if you can and you've got the ability to do that, you can craft things in workshops, make wagons, etc. You can make sturdy plywood and things. The last one that you can make for this sake is gem polisher, 6 purified water, 2 trace of origin. This is probably the trace you'll get the most of. Pure powder Reagent, 1 of those. And processed coal. So if you've got Kaplan you'll get quite a lot of that coal as well. I don't at the moment, I might do that in future. But these things are good because if you look up, if you have the ability to make it, you can see sturdy plywood. You can see the average value of it, and also the average value of the things you can make out of it. But if I go plywood, for example, plywood hardener, you can see the value of that stuff as well, so it's like 230,000 each. So I would not, if I were you, use these things to just sell on the market. Unless there's a good demand for it, I would try and use those to make other things. So that'll do for this video. These are the main potions and things I recommend using that are more advanced, that require the hardest to get ingredients. If you use this in addition to the stuff I showed in the other video, you'd be making quite a lot of money. So anyway, thank you for watching, and in the future I'm going to do a video on magic crystals and how to make those, because I've not seen anyone talk about that.